Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to my channel. Merry Christmas. If you celebrate it, there will be no good news here today because actually, there's this trend that's been going on that's been concerning me. And when I say trend, I'm not talking about the ha-ha hee-hee online bullshit. I'm talking about actually a pattern of events that is very alarming to me, and especially in recent history. I've been seeing this kick up, and I'm not sure what exactly the reason is, but we must certainly talk about it. So, school covered up bullying complaints of boy ridiculed for quote-unquote looking like Jeffrey Dahmer before his suicide. Lawsuit. The parents of a 10-year-old boy who hanged himself in May after horrific bullying are suing their son's school, claiming staff covered up complaints and punished victims who spoke up about the issue. The mom and dad of Sammy Touche, who killed himself at the family's home in Greenfield, Indiana, filed a wrongful death lawsuit last week against the local school system for allegedly ignoring repeated complaints about their son's torment at the hands of other students. We'll continue, but I'm going to pause here for a second because what is going on in these schools? Now, this is exactly why I get pissed off when I see teachers acting, or rather not acting, in any type of way, because we return to the main point. Teachers are supposed to be the children's guardians while the children are at school. Okay, so my light died. I specifically remember the principal of my school saying teachers were our guardians and therefore they requested like all sorts of paperwork. I can't remember if it was about vaccinations or other things, but he specifically underlined that teachers were our guardians, and that's what pisses me off here, because it's like they were supposed to look out for this kid, and did they? No. Sammy's classmates would call him Dahmer, saying the fourth grader looked like serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, the suit says. When Sammy complained to his teacher, her only response was that, in her opinion, Sammy did somewhat resemble Jeffrey Dahmer, the lawsuit reads. Now this, I think, is one of my biggest fears, genuinely. Even as a person with no kids, it's actually very scary to me to think that the teachers would join in on the bullying. Now granted, this teacher wasn't doing anything insane, but to respond to a complaint about bullying to say like, oh, well, they kind of have a point. Miss Ma'am, he's 10. Step in, say something, stop this before the ball gets rolling, and before it goes too far, and before something like this happens. It's inconceivable to me that an adult would respond being like, oh, well, you actually do kind of look like Jeffrey Dahmer, so the bullies kind of have a point. What is going on in these schools? I need to know what the fuck is going on. What are the higher-ups doing? What? Do people not fear, aside from moral repercussions, heaven and hell, whatever you believe in, do people not even fear losing their jobs anymore? It just seems so absolutely negligent. Let alone, let's remember, these kids are in your care. If you have no empathy for them, no compassion for them, and are not sticking up for them, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you there? Choose another job. Work in a job in a back room where you don't have to do anything to do with anyone and where you don't get anyone hurt. But surely do not work in a job where you are responsible for a child's well-being and you just say, you know what? Nah, not doing that. Just let's let the kid be bullied, let him be tormented, let him be tortured, and I guess we'll see what happens, and this happens. The school even threatened to punish Sammy when he sought help. His father, Sam Touche, told the Post. So now we're just gonna teach kids that the bullies get free reign, that if you want help, you can't ask for it, you can't say anything, and you're gonna get in trouble? You're gonna get in trouble for asking for help, which is what they tell you to do. So ideally, I'd really like to know what the fuck this school wants the kids to do. To shut up and just take the bullying and go on that way? Also, what is this telling the bullies? Why are you reinforcing the belief that by making fun of someone or hitting someone, whatever you do, why are you reinforcing that you can get away with that? Why would you make them believe that that's how the world works? I mean, granted, that is how the world works sometimes, but raising kids or educating kids in the sense of letting them get away with everything at school, even to this extent, with no repercussions, and then telling off the kid who actually just spoke up for himself? Are we out of our fucking minds? Someone hit Sammy with an iPad, broke his glasses, cut his eye, but he got kicked off the bus, the dad said. At that point, he stopped talking to us about it. The main thing he was concerned about was getting in trouble at school, so he didn't fight back. This is why I think I would be concerned if I ever were a mother, because for me, I'm burning the whole school down. Once the kids left, if staff is still there, depends on who. If it's that teacher, how do you see a kid having his glasses broken, which is already an invasion of your space, right? Because yeah, it's just glasses, like it's a thing, but it's still an invasion of your space, and breaking your stuff is a very clear message. Let's not fuck around about that either. Cutting his eye, anything to do with touching a child's body, no. But specifically things like vision and stuff like that, that's terrifying, and I know because there have been times where I couldn't see out of an eye, and that was horrific. Let alone if it was caused by classmates who want to torment me. This is insane. And the fact that he stopped talking about it because he didn't want to get in trouble at school, all I'm saying is maybe we ride at dawn. The lawsuit alleges that teachers and staff at Greenfield's Weston Elementary turned a blind eye to months of verbal and physical abuse endured by the child, who was mocked for his glasses and teeth and even urged to hang himself. Sammy told me this a million times. Daddy, they aren't listening to me at school. They are not listening to me, Touche said. Touche said Sammy lived in a stable home with his 3 sisters. The dad said he and his wife, Nikki, begged the school to protect their son, but despite staff assuring them they would take care of it, there are no official records of their complaints, nor from other parents who told the couple they also griped the school about bullying. To be clear, I think that any higher up at the school, including the teacher in question, all of them should get some kind of jail time. Because you are complicit in basically a suicide that, I mean, do we really want to call it a suicide if it was caused by things that were called out over and over and over again? Like, I'm not going to try and go into like the specifics of, is this suicide or is this murder? But I think it's murder. And I think the blood is on the teachers and higher-ups' hands. And I hope they can't sleep at night. Other parents have sent messages saying their kids were bullied too, and they also complained, but in the 2 years that Sammy was there, there's never been another report of bullying from anyone. It is truly insane, Touche said. Touche said he believes that Sammy's death was the product of a vast culture of unchecked bullying in which teachers and staff are too scared to confront bullies and parents are kept in the dark. I just want to know, and I realize I'm coming off as extremely aggressive and that's fine with me, but I just want to know, what the fuck job did you sign up for? Did you really think that going into anything in teaching, especially within elementary, middle, and high school, did you really think there would be no, let's call them sticky situations, especially with bullying? What was put in place in order to take care of these things? There was no disciplinary, like quote-unquote disciplinary board. There was nothing put in place to say, hey, bullying we know happens within these ages. What are the steps we're going to take? That's not there, or did you ignore it? What can someone tell me what the fuck happened here? How hard is it to contact the parents of the kid and be like, hey, your kid's been acting out of line at school. This is what we were told happened. Speak to your kid. How hard is that? I'm pretty sure there are 10-year-olds that can have that conversation, but you adults, you can't do anything? You're scared to talk to a 10-year-old saying, hey, don't bully other kids. Don't bully this kid or I'll tell your parents. You can't do that? Where are people's spines? I am looking for the spines. I cannot find them. Where are people's spines? And if you need a spine to confront a 10-year-old and their parents, God help you. Truly, I don't know what to tell you, but first of all, I'd say quit. Second of all, I'd say get a job where you have nothing to do with responsibility. That's no job, but that works. We have no transparency as parents. We don't know what's going on with a lot of stuff in the schools now. We have to change the way it is, Touche said. Touche believes woke, toothless enforcement standards have made school staff terrified of punishing cruel students and enforcing so-called zero-tolerance bullying policy. Well, honestly, I agree with that. Why aren't you acting? Like, what are you afraid of happening when students get the consequences of their own actions? Because realistically, this is preparing them for society. If they think they can get away with basically physically enforcing whatever they want to do, what do you think is going to happen after high school if all of this goes unchecked? These kids are going to be going to prison. If they go into the real world thinking they can just bully anyone and God knows what else, if they think that they can just get away with this stuff, what kind of adults are you going to be sending out into the world? And I'm not even kidding when I say it's actually very concerning. Certain personality types too will thrive in this. And I'm talking about people who really are violent, cruel, all of that. They thrive in this shit. They live on this shit, doing whatever the fuck you want. No consequence because what, the teachers are scared of talking to mommy and daddy? Good God. Touche had spent months since his son's death advocating against bullying and sharing his son's story. He and his wife launched the Sammy's Tree Foundation for bullying victims and are consulting for an upcoming film based on Sammy's story. If I find the website, it will be linked in the bio. But he said people are punished for even talking about the violence and self-harm. Bullying is the second leading cause of death for children 10 to 14, according to the CDC. Exactly. So if we know that bullying is the second leading cause of death for children 10 to 14, how is it that schools do not have any kind of procedure in place? There should be an ironclad procedure of step 1, step 2, step 3, based on the case and circumstances of each individual happening. But to just do nothing when you know that this is the second leading cause of death, at that point, I'm sorry, you're complicit in the death. TikTok has banned me, Facebook has banned me for even saying the word suicide. We have to acknowledge the problem, not just set it aside, the dad said. The dad has a lot of valid points. I also think that censoring is another problem, but we're not going to get into that now. The Tushas filed their lawsuit Tuesday against the Greenfield Central Community School Corporation and the Greenfield Century Community School Corporation Board of Trustees in Hancock County Circuit Court. So that's where this ends as of now, because obviously this is brand new information. I think it's very clear how pissed off I am about this, how aghast I am, because truly, if teachers can't protect the kids in the school, what are we doing here? And I know I keep repeating what are we doing, but genuinely I'm wondering, what is the purpose? If students can't even go to school unbothered by other students, they can't even learn in peace. They have to be afraid for their safety, for their lives, to the point where they stop talking. At age 10, you stop talking about your problems because anyway, you don't want to get in trouble at school. You're the one who's being bullied and you're afraid of getting in trouble at school. Shit is all the way upside down. I don't know what's going to happen with this school, but genuinely, I hope that something very drastic occurs, even just to set an example for the other schools, because surely this is not the only school that has this issue, and there were other students who were bullied, mind you. I really hope that something changes abruptly, because if this continues this way, we're going to see so many more child deaths, and that is the most terrifying and morbid thing I could ever imagine. Just children getting to that point of depression, of dejection, that they feel like they need to kill themselves because school is that fucking horrible. They feel that scared, hurt, at risk, angry, whatever. I truly don't know what to say. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Remember to check the link in bio in case I found the website the parents set up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.